Hello Glamour Ghouls and welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Midge Munster and on this channel we do all things campy, kooky, glamorous, and spooky. I want to start off today first and foremost by thanking you all so much for all of your love and support on my most recent video, for just welcoming me back with open arms, and for all your kindness and support through my health journey. It has just meant the world to me. I'm still feeling really good and I'm just so thrilled to be back here and spending time with you all. When I initially kind of was putting out feelers for what kind of videos y'all wanted to see as I was coming back to YouTube this year, of course, so many people wanted to see decor hunting videos, and you'll see a little bit more of kind of where we're headed with that next week. But to be very honest with you all, I have been out and about a few times looking at what is out there. There's a mix of two things happening. One, I'm not like super blown away by what I've seen so far this year. But secondly, a pattern that I am seeing just absolutely rampantly through the last several months is friends of mine who run amazing small businesses getting their art stolen by not just brands like Temu and Shein and places we expect it from, but from big box companies. And that's really, really disheartening to see. These companies have the money to pay artists to hire them to design for them if they want to, and they're choosing not to do that, and it's really just frustrating to watch. And I know how hard these artists work. I know how hard it is to do that in this current landscape. So today I want to focus on Halloween decor hunting from spooky small businesses. And of course, while the 10 to 12 businesses I feature today are not at all the scope of all the amazing businesses out there, these are all businesses or artists that I have shopped with regularly over the last several years, and I want to hype them up because I love shopping with them. I also did a video similar to this 2 years ago. I'll link it here. And so any of the businesses that I am still shopping with, but I featured in that video, I'm not going to necessarily feature again, but I highly recommend you go check that one out as well, because I think there's about 10 businesses in that one that are all still people I shop with to this day. So without further ado, let's jump in with our first business I want to feature today, which is Lively Ghosts. I have been a huge fan of Lively Ghosts for a long time, and this last year or so, it's been very exciting to not only see them continue to grow, but to expand their product lines in really exciting ways. When I first started shopping with them, it was a lot of like enamel pins and art prints, but they have expanded into so much more than that. They have blankets and picnic baskets and suitcases and pajama sets and cat beds. And most recently, they've also expanded into a beautiful clothing line that is very size inclusive. I have yet to purchase anything because I think I'm overwhelmed by how many pieces I want from their clothing collections, but I've seen them on many of my wonderful spooky friends, and they are so good. But I've picked a couple items that I think fall into the Halloween decor vein to highlight today. The first of which I have shown on the channel before, but I could not pass up an opportunity to share it with you again because this is one of my favorite pieces. It's so beautiful. It is this gorgeous picnic basket. I'll show you kind of up close the detail and texture on this piece. It is a like woven wicker basket with a sewn on leather detail for the face, and the lid has an adorable little pumpkin stem that pulls off. One of the details I really love about this is that the interior does have this gorgeous spiderweb fabric. And of course, it's got a nice sturdy strap on it to carry it to all your picnics. Now, while this makes a great picnic basket, I can confirm, it's also just a beautiful decor piece to have sitting out on a fireplace, hearth, or what I've been using it for as well. Last year, I put all of my candy for my trick-or-treaters in this, and it was a real hit to let them like pick their candy out of the bucket. This comes in several beautiful colorways. That comes in an orange, of course, and then I believe recently they released it in a pink, which I almost wish I had waited, even though I love this black version. The pink is so cute. And lastly, from Lively Ghosts, like I did mention before, they do have beautiful woven blankets. I see a lot of plush blankets from other businesses, but I don't always see a lot of these kind of woven, more tapestry style. And they recently gifted me this beautiful one. So here's the kind of fringy live edge of that, and it's got this really cute, interesting print all over it. Everything varies throughout. We've got a tombstone down here. This is my favorite part, this little toad on a witch's broom, and a jack-o'-lantern jack-in-the-box. We've got a coffin down here, and a spider and some candles. Just very cool, spooky imagery. This is the cottage witch blanket, but they have several different designs, and y'all, these are nice. They're like heavyweight, and they're a lot bigger, I feel, than a lot of woven blankets are. Like, I'm a big girl, and this is, you know, if I like fully stand up and hold it to my neck, it's hanging to the floor. So, and the nice thing too is the backside is kind of the like negative image. So it's not just like a plain back. You could really have it displayed either way if you wanted to, and you would still see the beautiful imagery on it. So that is Lively Ghosts. For each of these businesses, I will put links in the description for websites or Instagrams, whatever they have available. And for this particular business, I do have a code for you all. If you use code Midge Munster at checkout, you can get 10% off your order. The next person that I want to feature is Brian Brains Studios. So there's a couple items from this that I really think are standout and I want to feature. First of all, I do own a piece of Brian's art. I have this adorable Sleepy Hollow Horseman pennant banner from him that I got at Midsummer Scream 2 years ago, I believe. He has a few of these cute pennant options, which are really fun for a vintagey decor scape. If you're doing a Sleepy Hollow moment in your decor, this would be really cute to have. But the main reason I wanted to feature Brian is because he has something really cool that I feel like I don't see a lot from smaller businesses, and that is a treat bucket. This eyeball brain treat bucket. I don't personally own this yet, but I think it is so cool, and I have seen it in person and it is really beautifully made. I think collectible treat buckets are a very cool decor piece to have. It's a really fun way to pay homage to like the 50s and 60s if you're wanting that vintage flair in your decor. I think this piece also has kind of like a 80s, 90s flair in the colorway. So if you're doing kind of like a 90s goosebumps, nostalgia, neon, we got a lot of neon coming out this year from places like Target. So this would be a really cool, unique piece to have in a setup like that to really make it stand out. I will also say I did just remember Lively Ghosts also has a treat bucket of their like jack-o'-lantern design that they use for like their mugs or the picnic basket. That face is their kind of specific jack-o'-lantern to them, and they do have treat buckets of that as well. So if you're like me and you're getting into the treat bucket collecting game, there's a few places on this small business list to definitely check out. Now, one thing I always end up buying every season without fail, even though it is the one thing I simply do not need any more of, is coffee mugs. I love a spooky coffee mug. Y'all know, 2 years ago for halfway to Halloween, we put together a whole spooky coffee bar in my living room, and it still stands there to this day. It's the first thing you see when you walk into my home, just a giant shelf full of spooky mugs. And I definitely have enough, and I don't need any more mugs, but when I saw this artist's art, it was so beautiful and unique and just, again, harkened to the yesteryear. Like, it's so cozy and vintage feeling. I had to get her mugs. This artist is Megan Melly Illustrations, and y'all, Obsessed doesn't even begin to cover this for me. Megan, I adore you. I know you already know. I fawn over her on Instagram constantly. But these are a couple of the mugs that I have from Megan, and what I really appreciate too is that, like a lot of us, she is not exclusive to spooky season. She does year-round spooky items. This, however, is the October specific mug. Look at this illustration and how beautifully it wraps. I just love a glass mug too. There's something about that that's so nostalgic for me. But this is almost my favorite. This was the Spring Cemetery mug, and it's got these beautiful pink cherry blossom trees and little ghosts. I just think this is so beautiful. She also has a like winter one that has, if I'm not mistaken, it has Baba Yaga's hut on it. So that one's also in need and I haven't gotten it yet, but Megan, keep doing what you're doing. I love your art so much. I think it's flawless. Now, y'all knew I wasn't gonna make it through this video without talking about one of my absolute favorite spooky shops, Nocturne in Salem. My wonderful friends Kim and Mike own this store and it is so beautifully curated. If you are looking for those refined spooky touches for your decor, this is your one-stop shop. I think something I'm leaning more into as a person the last year and a half is that like not all like spooky decor has to be Halloween specific. You all know I love to create an atmosphere, create a space, almost like a theatrical set. And the bits and pieces I have picked up from Nocturne over the last couple of years have really heightened and elevated my spaces in this way. I'm going to show you a few different items that I've picked up. First, I have this beautiful, almost like abalone shell web trinket box, and it's got a velvet lining. I keep this in my living room, and I think it is just absolutely stunning. I really love a like hand motif. Actually, my earrings today are like little hands. And I've gotten a few items from Nocturne. First, what I aptly call the candelabra. And it is this gorgeous 3-candlestick with the hands holding the candles. And it's got this gorgeous detail around the base. This is one of those pieces that when you have it sitting on your mantle or your dining table, it just elevates it just slightly, you know, from having just a normal brass candelabra. This is something unique and haunting, and I think it just adds that little extra spice to your design. I also have this beautiful hand clip. Now, you could use this in a variety of ways, but I'm going to use it to clip and display different seasonal art so that I can change it out throughout the year. So you can just clip it like this. This is also a gorgeous print that I got from Nocturne, and it's very spooky. It's got a Ouija board and a jack-o'-lantern and a 3-candle candelabra appropriately. And that is just a very small sampling of the types of things available at Nocturne. They have beautiful wall tapestries and pillows and handbags. If you go visit them in person, they have a vast collection of beautiful antiques. A lot of them are from France. They're absolutely stunning. Lamps and decor, all kinds of things that you could add to your home. But most of these items and more are available on their website. So if you head over to nocturnesalem.com, you can shop with them online. And I do have a code for them as well. If you use the code MIDGE15 at checkout, you can get 15% off your order at Nocturne. I also got the next items we're going to talk about at Nocturne. However, I have also shopped directly with this maker for at least a couple years now, and I am really excited about what they have coming out this Halloween season. The next maker we're going to talk about is Graveyard Wanders. Now, I personally do not believe that any decorscape is complete without candles. I don't think there's anything spookier than candle lighting. I also believe that a well-rounded room, a decor in a room is not complete without creating the like smellscape of what you want that space to feel like when you walk into the room and you breathe it in. And so I think having the right scents for your decorscapes is very important. And I personally find that for my decor, the best match I have found is Graveyard Wanders. One thing I really enjoy about Graveyard Wanders is that not only do they have candles of the scents. This is Haunted Manor, which they are bringing back this year, and this is my favorite Graveyard Wander scent. Oh my god, it smells so good. But they also have room mists that match their scents for a lot of their candles, so you can really get that full immersive smell moment happening. I talked about this in my last video. I am so scent sensitive. And so I have to be really careful what kind of candles I buy because so many of them give me migraines, and I have never had issues with Graveyard Wanders. I love their scents. They have taper candles for your candelabras in beautiful colors. They have these adorable, often wax bar melts if you use like a Scentsy or a candle warmer. But specifically what we are talking about today is Decor. And what I am most excited about from Graveyard Wanders this year is their sculptural candles. Now they have done these for a long time. They have a very cool like witch heads and a cool like jack-o'-lantern head guy with like a ruffle and a hat. But recently she dropped this teaser of a haunted house sculptural candle, and I think it is the coolest candle I have ever seen. I cannot wait to buy it. It is so spooky and beautiful and just like, oh, it's so cool. Something else I'm really excited about her release this year is she teamed up with another small business that I absolutely love, OpenSea Design Co., to redo all of her labels. For years, she has been doing this same label where she just kind of would have this stock design and she would handwrite whatever the scent was, which is still very cool. It's very handmade and you know that someone crafted that candle themselves, which is cool. However, these new labels, I'm obsessed with OpenSea Design Co.'s art. They have really just like a very specific style. Before she even announced who the art was by, I already knew it was OpenSea. And so the redos on these labels this year just add that extra level where it's gonna look beautiful sitting in your decor and blend in with your decorscape so much nicer even than it already was. It was already nice and now it's gonna be even nicer. She also last year did a collaboration with Megan Melly as well and did like jar candles with Megan Melly's art around it. So overall, lots of great things happening at Graveyard Wanders, and I also just love to see small businesses work with each other to lift each other up. That's very cool and exciting. Be sure to go follow Graveyard Wanders on Instagram if you use Instagram and set reminders. You can like click through and find where those releases are happening. Her stuff goes really fast and she'll be dropping her Halloween stuff really soon. So this next business we're going to talk about, this is a little bit of a splurge item, but if you're someone like me who has kind of hit the threshold of like as far as you can go with tabletop decor and tchotchkes for your space, and you're looking for kind of that next step of how can I really completely overhaul my living room at Halloween time, I think a really fun way to achieve that next level of decor is to get a custom lampshade. So we're going to be talking about Coven nightshades. Some of you may remember this used to be Deadly Darling nightshades, and since the two creators have split and done their own creative projects, but Gracie is still running Coven nightshades and still doing beautiful designs. Now, y'all don't hardly ever see this because I'm usually shooting into this corner when I do my videos, but on the corner just behind the camera, I have a custom nightshade from Coven. It's this beautiful velvet pink with like a bat lace overlay and black fringe. This is like the height of spooky decadence. Like it's just so rich and beautiful. And honestly, for the like craftsmanship and what this is, they are not like overly pricey, in my opinion. You would pay more for a like an animatronic than you would to buy yourself a beautiful custom lampshade. And what I love about this too is that this is something that is usable. I am finding the more and more that I collect decor-wise, I am most interested in pieces that are usable, that are not just going to sit and look beautiful, but are also going to serve a purpose. And this is something that will really step up your space and provide an actual like service in your home. And it's like a standout. Like if somebody comes into your house and you've switched out the lampshade in your living room for something like this for the spooky season, people are gonna be like, wow, that's really cool. Or if you're like me, just keep it up all year long. I am definitely looking to commission a couple more of those pieces for different places in my home moving forward. Speaking of unique pieces, the next business I want to talk about is Velvet Apparition. Now, this is run by my beautiful friend Christina, and she has immaculate taste. She picks out the best items. A lot of her business revolves around curating beautiful antiques. She has such an eye and makes the best selections. She always has the best stuff. One of my favorite purchases I've made from her is this absolutely stunning antique spiderweb trivet for like putting a hot pot on in your kitchen. I've also bought like vintage Ben Cooper Halloween masks in really good condition from her. She just compiles a really excellent collection of items to select from. But the other half of her business, she does design her own pieces as well. She has this like tower with a bat and little hands on it that you could use to display postcards or photos or Halloween cards. She's also done a couple of silk pillowcases, like for your bed pillows that have like a spider web. I think the other one says "at rest." Very, very cute. And while this is not decor, she did also just release some rings that are so beautiful. They are like designed after Victorian mourning plaques for caskets and things. They're gorgeous, and I love that she provides her jewelry in silver and gold. If you are a gold ghoulie, you know how hard it is to find like brass or gold spooky jewelry, so I was very appreciative that she looked out for us gold ghouls. So be sure to check all that out on her website, and if you live in California, she does have booths at, I believe, the Pasadena and Sherman Oaks antique malls, so you can shop her in person there as well. The last small maker I want to talk about is Leather and Jade. She initially sent me a gorgeous lamp to my P.O. box, and I don't have any of her pieces that I own out right now because they're packed away with my Halloween decor, but I do have some photos I'm going to share. So this was the lamp. It's a jack-o'-lantern pail, double-sided with a light bulb inside. It's so freaking cool. This was one of the times where I like opened something from my P.O. box and I was so flabbergasted that I just think I sat there like staring at it for 10 minutes and I couldn't even wrap my brain around the fact that like someone had made this and sent it to me. It was so cool. And since then I've ended up becoming a like rabid fan of her art. I have bought several pieces from her, including if you watched my dining room video last year, I showed a couple of trick-or-treat themed pails, this Sam bucket and his like matching little jack-o'-lantern bucket. Those are from Leather and Jade. She also makes these little like rattle shakers that are super cute. I've bought a jack-o'-lantern one that I keep on my coffee bar, and I bought a like Halloween one last year as well. I just love her style. It's very folk art. If you are a person who likes like Johanna Parker, then this is definitely for you. She sells on Etsy. She does do like smaller drops because she'll make kind of a collection and drop them all, but keep an eye on her Instagram because you definitely want to get one of these beautiful one-of-a-kind pieces. So we have reached the last small artist we're going to talk about today. And while this is not technically decor, it is something that I think displays really beautifully. And I had to bring it up because it just went on sale for this year. When you are watching this, we are officially 100 days to Halloween. So exciting. And I have bought this for the last 4 years, and I think it's like kind of a must-have if you're a really spooky person. And it is Matt Wood's Pumpkinhead's Countdown to Halloween calendar. So this calendar is full of art by my friend Matt Woods. He does this Pumpkinhead character, and I love the Pumpkinhead design, first of all, just so fun and festive. But this calendar is unique because rather than a typical January to December calendar, it goes from October to October and counts down to Halloween. He also did a ton of research for each calendar to include major spooky holidays. So, you know, Vincent Price and Elvira's birthdays are marked, releases of famous horror films, all the like moon information of when the full moons are happening, when the new moons are happening are all in here. It's just like the perfect calendar if you're a spooky lover. This was this year's calendar, and all of the illustrations, of course, are specific to the month. Here is this month's illustration. Since we're currently in July, we've got a nice Jaws illustration. But like I said, I have purchased this every year. This will be my 4th time ordering it, and it just makes the year so much more fun, especially to see all the different spooky holidays and things throughout. It helps you kind of find those little bits of Halloween throughout the year and celebrate the spookiness within you all year long. So I will put the link to pre-order this down in the description box. Be sure to get it while it's hot because it's only available for pre-order for a certain amount of time and then it's gone for the year. So be sure to grab this if you want one. It is totally worth it. All right, ghouls, so there you have it, my list of spooky small businesses to Halloween decor hunt at and to support all year round. Like I said, this is just a small percentage of all the amazing spooky businesses out there. Be sure to go back and check out my previous video from a couple years ago if you want even more businesses to check out. And I do have another exciting announcement to share with you all. So this coming Saturday, July 27th, I will be working with one of my favorite small businesses in Kansas City, Retro Vixen. Many of you have seen on Instagram, I've done several videos with them. They are one of my favorite places to shop for retro style clothing in Kansas City. And on Saturday, they're going to be dropping their Halloween collection for the year. And so I am going to be live on Instagram from Retro Vixen, from the shop on Saturday. We're going to be modeling that collection and sharing the pieces with you all. There's also going to be giveaways through that time. We're going to be giving away gift cards so that y'all can shop Retro Vixen online. We're going to have a Shop Midge's Favorites page so you can check out what pieces I will be wearing this spooky season. So I would really love to see so many of you tune in there and support a small business that has meant so much to me through my entire journey on YouTube. Retro Vixen is the place I bought my first ever vintage style dress. I feel like that shop kind of raised me to become the person that I am now, and so I'm really excited to do this with them and give back a little bit to a small business that means so much to me. So please come check that out if you're able. That will be at 11 a.m. Central Time this Saturday, July 27th. So that is it for me today. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you again next week, where we're going to be doing some more Halloween decor hunting adjacent content that I'm really excited about. I think y'all are gonna have a lot of fun with me on this. At least I hope so. If you're new here, I'd love if you'd consider subscribing to the channel before you leave today. We've got lots of amazing content coming up for spooky season, and you're not gonna wanna miss a single thing. And if you're looking for more content from me, you can check out my Instagram, my Patreon, and my podcast, Ghouls Night In, all linked in the description box below. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and until next time, keep it campy, kooky, glamorous, and spooky. Bye!